Remember, it was wrong because the seeds of this problem were sown long before that. They were sown when a right-wing Conservative government decided to seize on the result of the referendum and use that narrow majority and interpret it for its own ends to restructure this country and its international relationships and its economy. And even now we see a situation where the government is committed to pursuing the hardest of Brexits, crashing out without a deal if it deems that necessary, and you actually even believe that that is the preferred course of action. And it knows not only is there no majority in this House for that course of action, there is no majority in the country either for that course of action. Now that brings me to the topic of the election, which is an associated matter here, because there have been suggestions that are we to do this, then the Prime Minister will immediately throw his toys out of the pram and go to the country and demand a general election. And we have already had an echo of the gross populism from the Leader of the House that may well come to be reflected in that campaign, something which I think does his character no great service, to be honest. But if that is the election is going to come, then let us be quite clear. We need to have an election before this country crashes out of the European Union without a deal. So we're ready for an election. Bring it on. But either have it before the 31st of October or extend that deadline of the 31st of October so that we can make a decision as a people and elect a parliament before this fait accompli is presented to them. That would be the legitimate thing to do. And I would ask the Prime Minister that if he really wants to have an election, then don't engage in these procedural shenanigans and this duplicity in trying to game the Parliament. Put the proposal for a no-deal Brexit to the electorate. Put that to the electorate, explain the consequences and see if that is what they vote for. And when that happens, I will relish the prospect to contest that election, because we shall not only be contesting that election in order to prevent and stop Brexit and have a reconsideration of that strategy, but we shall also be explaining to the people of Scotland that this is their chance to consider having a different course of action than the one which they have been led down by the current Prime Minister. And I am confident that when we go to the people of Scotland, so many more than ever before will now understand the attractiveness of having political independence over their own affairs and being able to control their own destiny and establish their own relationships with the rest of the countries in Britain, in Europe and the world. And that is what is coming down the track. I warn the government to be aware of it.